Morning, folks. I'm not even going to pretend that I am not sitting here filming multiple videos in a row. If you caught my video about bonus drops earlier in the day, yes, that is the same kitty butt. And it's approximately 5 minutes later. And that's what insomnia is going to do for you is have you sitting at your computer before you go on vacation, slowly drifting into madness super, super early in the morning when nobody has any business being up on a day that they are not going to work. Now, I unfortunately received some very, very bad news last night involving signal data. As you all may know, about 2 weeks ago, the price of signal data dropped from 15, 20, 30 to 15, 15, 25. And everybody rejoiced. It was in the weekly shop. It was also in the featured shop. Fat Phil and I started a signal data experiment to try and see if there were any other changes to the drop rates because of this weird change. And I was unconvinced and kind of had said, I think, in my original video that there was a good chance that CG fat fingered something um, last week when the weekly shop shifted over and nothing had changed. Maybe a little bit less convinced. But unfortunately, it does look like things have returned to normal. I received a tip on Discord. Thank you, Bodhi. And this morning, it has been confirmed that prices have gone back to 15, 20, 30. Now, with that said, Phil and I did do the signal data experiment, and I do want to take a look at that and talk about a few things of that nature. We're going to make this one pretty quick, but come join me on this magical Egnards has only had 2 hours of sleep adventure, and I don't know. See what happens. Okay, let's drop Discord down because I still have that up from before. Kitty, hello. Do you want to say hi? You're being very rude right now. You're in front of everything. You're just, I know, nobody can see you where you are right now. We'll show them. See? You're just like walking in front of the camera. I could restart, but I'm not going to. No, you're just gonna sit there front. You've literally never done this before. Kitty cat, you're being, why? Why must you go back there? Whatever. I don't care. Yeah, we're just gonna have to deal with a tail in my face. Anyway, again, I will say that in game, these shipments have gone back. Now, obviously, in the weekly shipment, they are still at that 15, 15, 25 rate, right? But if you were to, let me just pull out my calendar. 750, yeah. If you were to go to your featured shipments, you will see incomplete shipment, incomplete signal data, 200 crystals for 10. That brings it back up to its 20 valuation. I have already changed that back in my sheets. Now, one of the nice bonuses of my valuation sheets are the fact that everything is based off of this and can be quickly shifted at a moment's notice. So that is super nice. But I want to talk about this sheet, which was the signal data experiment that Phil and I had done over the course of about 2 weeks. I think that we can safely say that the experiment is over, not because we have gotten conclusive data, but because the prices have gone back to normal. There's no reason to believe that there has been a change in the prices at all. I do, however, want to take a look at the summary, specifically because we do have thousands of data points, and I am noticing an interesting trend that is going to change the numbers that I use when calculating relics, right? So this is not the most conclusive data in the world, but I had always run on the assumption of the drop rates being 1.31, 0.92, and 0.65. However, it looks as though we are looking at something a little bit different, and I'm going to zoom that in here. It looks as though we're seeing something that's actually around 1.41, 0.91, and 0.61. Now, if we assume that CG likes to use easy numbers, and I do like to assume that CG likes to use easy numbers and the drop rates are not like 1.41342663 or some bullshit like that, it is most likely that the gray signal data number is 1.4x, that the green signal data is probably 0.9 or 90%, and blue signal data is 60%. I'm still going to use these particular numbers going forward, but that gives me a huge shift when talking about the gray signal data numbers and timelines, and a slight downshift when talking about blue signal data, right? I assumed about 65% or 66%, and I am interested in seeing, it is interesting to see that we may have been incorrect in that assumption. Now, thankfully, I'd never done a study on this on my own in the past, so I'm not wrong so much as I was using information that may have been mildly incorrect. And I know that I don't think I had seen so many different drop rate numbers over the years, so it's nice to have a little bit more of a confirmation there. Now, when we go to a crystal analysis, I know I did not change this on purpose yet. 15, 15, 25, when farming signal data, it looks like, with the old numbers or the numbers from the last 2 weeks, about a 36% discount, 2% discount, and 12% discount. Bringing that back up to the numbers that we are expecting to see, it looks like we're roughly the same, right? We get the largest percent discount when farming gray signal data versus purchasing it. So do with that information as you will. But to me, when I look at those discounts, I see numbers that are incredibly similar. Now, why did CG do this, right? Why did they change the price and then change it back? Well, look, I, I think in the next 3 days, you're going to see a lot of videos from a lot of people. Definitely Fat Phil is going to give you his bad take, and there's going to be something about the moons aligning and Jupiter and Neptune being in retrograde and Teen Wolf marrying his, I don't know, zombie stepsister. Um, I think the reality is that somebody at CG just fat fingered some numbers. I think that within the game that there are probably tables of valuations, and those tables of valuations are set among different stores. And I just think that instead of just giving us a good deal in weekly shipments, somebody changed the raw data numbers. It went unnoticed until it was live. It probably could have been fixed with a hot patch in the last 2 weeks, but it was something so trivial and so minor, and so little additional worth could be gotten out of it that they figured it doesn't make sense to waste money having to spend or push through a hot fix. Let's just wait 2 weeks until we get the next patch. And that seems to be exactly what happened. They did not put that in their update notes, but CG does not typically comment on their drop rates in the updates at all. What does this mean for farming? Go back to what you were doing before. Will this happen again? I quite literally could not answer that. I have no idea. Don't be one of those people that messages me every day on Discord and asks me hypothetical questions that only like Doctor Strange could answer. I don't know. That's where we end here, right? So I don't know when I'm releasing this. Have a good day, I guess, night. A great weekend. No brunch. Need some music to play us out. Peace out. Great, I don't know, whatever. Rest your day, morning, night, weekend, whatever it is.